Hello everyone, Triple S back here with some more of the bottom of the well. Now I just want to say that there won't be any achievement pop-ups in this video because I've migrated to a new laptop, but there's no way to migrate your save, so I had to just test to make sure that this final 3 achievements will actually pop, and they will. So yeah, but fortunately we won't get any pop-ups, so we would like a custom Alice. Yep, I know all about that. We'll start customizing. We need to put 3 into survival, 3 into fitness, 1 into supplies, and 2 into career. And that's all the points. So finish customizing, accept and start. September 13th, 2015, today's a witness stream of my life. I'm waiting for Joe to come online so I can talk to someone about this. He's here, hello. I feel like I'm going crazy. Morning, Alice. Morning. Did you catch the anniversary reading last night? No, well, I tried, but I fell asleep. Listen, about that. You fell asleep? Oh, come on, Alice, anyone that is like our favourite? I'm losing my voice. Let me finish. Something happened. I was tuning on my radio. You're such a Luddite. Amazing I can even catch you online. Shut up. I'm not a Luddite. I just like analog things. Anyway, I was tuning into the broadcast and must have hit the alien switch or something, because suddenly the channel changed to something else. What? Aliens? Oh, government run number stations? No, it was just weird. Like White Nights at first, it started with I was so drawn to where I could hear snippets of somewhere doing other for the numerous week. So you turned it off and you were looking for the Alice broadcast? So I went out on my balcony and turned the antenna around until the signal came through clear. It now sounded more like music with the odd signal in the background. When logical proportion, I fall asleep dead and the White Knight is talking backwards and the Red Queen's off with her head. Some of these pirate radio broadcasts is some golden ollies. Felt like there was something else there. Some message that the music was hiding. I know it sounds weird and I fell asleep. What a story. No, hear me out. I dreamed. I didn't know I was dreaming. You understand? It was entirely lucid, but like waking up in another world, except I didn't think it was another world. Ugh, didn't make any sense. You had a super lifelike dream where you didn't know you were dreaming, but you were still loosely in control. Sounds pretty rad to me. Sure it would have been, except for the whole end of the world, apocalypse bit in the dream. Okay, now you got my attention. Nothing new there. So like I said, it was the end of the world. Everything I did that day felt like the real thing. Every smell, every sound, every colour, every touch. It's important you know that. I wasn't acting like I wasn't a dream. I didn't know it was a dream. And pressing. Oh, I have to click there. Heavy. There was no warning, no build-up, nothing. Just between one moment and the next, the TV. Did I miss some stuff? Whatever. So the voice sounded like it'd been recorded and the station soldiers were under attack. Were you alone? Yep. It was late. I just finished my evening run. I had the TV in the background. Since when do you go for evening runs? Well, I don't. But I did. I mean, I've been meaning to start working out more, you know. Get my ladders off my chair. Dreams are all about wishful fulfillment, aren't they? Anyway, what happened next? Like I said, the TV suddenly turned to the emergency alert system. Jacked the volume all the way up too. Didn't even know they could do that. The broadcast holders were under attack, right now. And that we needed to get to shelter. That we had less than 30 minutes before the bombs hit. Jesus, sounds scary. At first I didn't want to believe it. I switched the channel, but they were all the same. And then the sirens started. Tornado sirens, flood sirens. I don't know, anything so serious. So what did I do? What did I do? So the first option is I needed to think about my options. Okay, what was your plan? The broadcast kept saying to stay indoors, to keep all windows and doors closed, stuff like that. But what if the stairway got blocked or a fire started or something, and I'd get trapped up there? It didn't feel very safe. And I'd imagine they would hit downtown first, right? Not that you live right in the middle of the town, but... Right, getting out of town felt like a good idea. To attack the cities first, I'd be much safer in the countryside somewhere. Spoken like a true survivor. But why do it alone? Wouldn't it be safer in a group? I thought of that. It could be done with a small group. Was it realistic of you to think you could stay in the apartment? Realistic? Wasn't like I've been through a lot of apocalypses before. I'm not sure what constitutes realistic. I had enough food in my cupboards to last me a little while, so at least I had that going for me. Oh, yeah, and then I had my trusty radio, of course. I tried it, and it worked. It was sending out the same emergency broadcast as a TV. And you called me a Luddite. You got me there. So, what did you do? What did we do? I decided to try and tough it out at home. I suppose I decided to stay home mostly because that's what the message was telling us to do. This is the part where you start pulling a loop. Aluminium foil. Wow, he actually said aluminium. Well, you say aluminium, but you spelt colour the American way. Okay. Aluminium foil over the windows and prepare your bathtub for extended living. I actually sat down on Google just that. Fact is that the pop stories of the apartment buildings might be the safest as far as protection against radiation goes. I don't know about the other effects though. Blast, heat wave, all that. Guess that's what you need in an underground shelter for total protection. Think your building have some kind of shelter? At least on this side of the pond, it feels like you can't walk down a block without stumbling on half a dozen bomb shelters. Sadly, no. We never got... Oh, is he British and she's American? I don't know. Never got into the habit of getting bombed during our wars with the ones doing all the bombing. Anyway, bathroom was then. Do you think to bring anything? Alright, yeah. I got the biggest bag I had. An old backpack I never bothered to throw out. Ooh, for hoarding, I guess. Ah. Oh, okay, when I tested this, I must have accidentally set out the points incorrectly, because last time I couldn't pick food, but now we can. So we take the first aid kit, and we take food. And that's it. Apparently, that's all we need. So exit inventory. Serious question, why didn't you just bring your entire apartment with you into the bathroom? I mean like bed, every scrap of food, etc. First of all, I was kind of afraid the building would, you know, collapse. I wanted to be ready to run, so I packed my bags in advance. Secondly, the truth was I just didn't come to think of it. I'm sure I had tons of other useful things lying around that I just didn't think to bring along, like your radio. Alright, so, what happened? The end of the world? Go on, let's hear it. Took a lot longer for the bombs to begin falling than they said. I stayed online for as long as I could with my laptop in the bathroom, door closed, everything edible stacked around me, and the news suggested that the US missile defense was working. That they were shooting down the Russian missiles before they could land. But I guess sooner or later, I'll look around now. Oh, she is American. So he's American and he's British. Okay. However, I just realised that. Go on. Well, first the electricity went. I remember being lit up by just my laptop screen. Before I had to panic, there was this rumble. And then plaster started raining down from the ceiling and the toilet seat underneath me kind of started feeling oily? I don't know, like I was in danger of sliding off it. I like how the music just turns itself on, even though it's muted. Jesus. I was completely terrified. There's nothing really that can prepare you for it. And that was just the first one. How many did they send your way? How should I know? After that first hit, the internet was down, the lights didn't come back on, but then a few months later, there was another one. You know how you kind of count seconds between seeing the flash and hearing the thunder when there's lightning? Yeah. This felt like that. Shock after shock, and then counting the little white flakes dropping down from the ceiling, hoping and praying the next one wouldn't just obliterate you. Praying with an E. Okay. Did it go on for long? I don't think so. After the third one, my laptop and phone both stopped working suddenly. EMP? Yeah, probably. I didn't know you were into the secondary effects of nuclear explosions. I read about it in some novel or other. That's weird, I didn't know you were into those kind of things. It's kind of weird. Dream me definitely knew. Knows? More than the real me does. Or did. How long did you stay in there? Well, the man on TV said to monitor broadcast until an all clear was given, or at least 24 hours. So of course I hadn't brought the radio, so I had no idea beyond what the man on TV had said. Not enough food? I had enough to last me 24 hours at least. So what was your decision? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? I stayed for 24 hours like the man on TV said. I made, well, not quite 24 hours. I waited the whole night and most of the morning. I think when I got interestingly hard to figure out how much time had actually passed. I hope you brought some candles and a book. I brought my laptop, but yeah, that didn't work out. But I did have a copy of Gulliver's Travels in there. Oh, and Alice in Wonderland, of course. I didn't know any candles, some English student I turned out to be. How archaic. Back to reading paper. Tisk, tisk. I don't know if I would have had the presence of mind to read even if I could have. It was pitch black, remember? In fact, the only light in the room came from underneath the door. I got pretty obsessed by that light during the night, but I also realised pretty quickly it was a regular leak in my defences. I stuck my hand towels down there to block it. After that, it was complete darkness for me. Ah, man. Wait. I have to ask. Are you telling me you sat through the night in real time? I told you. I had no idea I was dreaming. It was real. I'm awake, and I know it was a dream, but it's like I really experienced it. I get panicked just thinking about it. And I always thought lucid dreaming would be fun. Maybe you have power, I had none. Did you get peckish? After a while. Luckily I had some food, although I had to eat it cold of course. But it was food. It's not like I felt like having a pizza. But it was good to fill up my belly with something. Comfort eating! Funny. So, after you left the bathroom, what did you see? You know, it actually took me a little while to wrap my head around that it was still my apartment. You see, all the windows had shattered, so everything was covered in shards. There were books and paper all over, blown around by the wind, I guess. And ash. Ash? Yep, I was in shock, like stepping into another world. I walked across this debris, glass crunching under my feet to the window. Everything was grey, but I could see the morning sun through the clouds. It was snowing ash. That can't be good. Did the city stand? I think the city was making most of the ash. I could see smoke rising from what little horizon I had visible from my apartment, and it smelled of burnt and smoke outside, but it was eerily quiet. What'd you do? I took a clean handkerchief and tied it around my face, first of all. I don't know how much good it would do against the ash, but it was better than nothing, I guess. And then I took my bag and I left. I double-checked what I had packed and confirmed that everything I had taken with me to the bathroom was ruined, covered in glass or ash, and radiation presumably, and then I left. Did you need a flashlight? Actually, I could see alright. It seemed like there was somehow enough light to see by. How come? Well, there were a lot of doors on the opposite side of the corridor thrown open and light was coming from them, which I thought was kind of odd. And I peeked in, calling out a hello, and find myself looking out at nothing. You know, no walls, no floor, barely any roof left, no windows, no people, kitchen cabinets hanging loose above the abyss, that kind of thing. And beyond, nothing. Just ruins and fire. The whole downtown area. Gone. There was a thick, ashy snow falling everywhere, a lot of it drifting inside. A sudden gust suddenly blew a face full of it at me and I gasped. Scene change. That doesn't sound good. It was the remains of the city, in fine particles everywhere. I knew I was breathing death, that my makeshift breathing filter was, yeah. I can't really do the sight justice though, and I don't blame Dream Me for staring. Dream You isn't you? She is, and she isn't. It's hard to explain. Anyway, were there no other survivors? I hadn't planned on looking, but as I finally reached the ground floor, I heard voices from one of the apartments there. Did you investigate? I didn't actually have to make that decision. I was just standing there, ears perked, a voice called out to me. Someone you knew? No, although I think I might have seen him in the elevator once or twice. His name was Ross, and he and a small group of other survivors had gathered in one of the bottom floor apartments. There was a family with 2 kids, an older lady, and the janitor. What'd you do? What did we do? I stuck with my original intention to leave alone. I decided to leave on my own. They weren't surprised. There had been a couple of others who had also gone off on their own after they found them. This is a suspiciously involved dream, you know. Tell me about it. So what happened next? Oh god. I needed to get out of town as far as I could go. What did it look like? The streets? Awful. Ruined buildings everywhere, charred by fire, most of them. We had to pick our way between cars and debris and bodies. There were so many bodies, it made me just have to think about it. Must have been pretty difficult to travel. Yeah, although it was oddly inconsistent. I think my building was the last one directly affected by the blast. About a block in the opposite direction, there were mainly intact buildings. Oh, sorry. Yeah, as much as you could call them intact, I guess, still standing. What about others? Were there any survivors on the street? Yeah, there were others. A lot of them were a lot worse off than me. Some were blind, others were burned, broken, or in shock. There just wasn't anything I could do. Where was the government? I don't know. No one knew. I hadn't heard a single ambulance sirens in the event. For all we knew, there was nothing left. Did you figure out where to go? I started coming across survivors soon enough. People like me, some with backpacks, and some with just the clothes on their backs. It was absolutely wretched to see them. Some were staying put, but most were moving. Rumour had it there was an evacuation center set up at the college. What? Like, your college? Yeah. Talk about going back to where you started. Go on, how'd it go? It was pretty slow going, and even though I tried to keep out of the black rain, there wasn't all that much we could do, but at least we had a goal and others to help us get there. I made a breathing basket out of a spare shirt, although I'm not sure it helped much. So it was real, the Evacuation Center? If I could speak. Not so fast. There was a slight obstacle still in our way. Oh? What's that? The river. There's a river? Not something I thought about either. I didn't live anywhere near it, so whenever I crossed it, I just drove over it. But there it was, a geographical reality. So, I mean, the bridges were surely still there. True, but when we approached them, we realised they were occupied. Uh-oh, by whom? Not sure. I saw them from afar and kind of ducked into cover. And so immediately they weren't good news, they had guns and were harassing the other people who come to the bridge. I think they were mugging them. Did they let anyone pass? Yeah, some. I didn't know what the price was, or if they had some other criteria for letting people through. So what'd you do? What did we do? There are bridges to cross. I went down river to find one. Must I say the other bridges didn't have similar setups? Seems like a likely thing to do. I was willing to take the chance. I wasn't going to tangle with a group of armed men even if I've lost some time. How much time did you lose? Well, that's the thing. I walked about a day? Through incredibly terrible terrain towards the nearest bridge. Quakes had made the riverbank collapse into most places, and the river was for some reason churning, making it impossible to ford. And when we finally arrived, it was broken. Yep, it had collapsed. Ah, jeez. No hope of getting over? Well, it had collapsed, but not totally. Half of it was dragging in the current, some cars still hanging on by some form of magic. Maybe it would be possible to balance across, but it looked pretty risky. I was so damn disappointed and tired, though it actually felt like a good idea. How about just backtracking instead? Okay, no, damn it, I got it this far, I was crossing. Such a bad idea, Alice. I wasn't sure how much longer I could go on without making a stupid decision. Maybe this was my last straw. What was your plan? Oh god. Run as fast as I could. My resolve almost failed me when the remnants of the bridge started creaking underneath me. Imagine the feeling of something so massive actually moving as you moved. It felt like it could collapse at any moment. You're insane. I ran the first stretch easy enough, climbing over a car just about to collapse into the abyss. As my feet hit the ground on the far side of it, it started to move and groan, and the whole bridge shuddered like a drunk trying to keep his footing. Uh-oh. I ran faster. There was a narrow stretch of rebar. I didn't stop. I just balanced out on it like some action hero and jumped, ran across. I have no idea how I did that without falling off. So this is the part, I just remember, this is the part where you would get the "this is such a bad idea" achievement, because it's such a bad idea. Didn't you tell me a story the other day about how you fell off your stepladder into the kitchen when you tried to reach the top cupboard? Dreamy is more badass than that. So, did you make it across? Yeah, but not without injury. I'd almost reached solid ground on the other end when a car started sliding across the tilted bridge right at me. It was mangled, charred, black, full of jagged edges from having exploded or burned or something. I dodged as best I could, but the tip of a jagged piece of aluminium— oh, you say aluminium as well— caught me across my thigh, cutting clean from my jeans. Oh no! I was only lucky it didn't snag me. I somehow, through pure adrenaline, made it across just as the whole thing collapsed behind me. Woo! Lucky you! I felt so too, for about half a second. What? The wound, it was bleeding profusely. Oh no! Did you know to stem the bleeding? Cut your leg off. I had my first aid kit. I grabbed it in my pack with shaking hands. It's nuts how fast I started feeling weak once the adrenaline rushed past and made a tourniquet above the wound. Smart thinking. Bringing the kit? Yeah, I was thinking the same. Don't know if it was much as the stuff in the kit as the confidence it gave me to actually save me, or perhaps the wound wasn't as bad as I imagined. And then you called an ambulance. Haha, I wish. And then I rested. After a while I started limping away from the scene. Didn't you say it had taken you a little days to even find you in this crossing, and now you were injured? If I'd actually have had to limp the whole way, there was no way I could have made it. But I was actually picked up the first bit of good luck, so sordid story. Oh god, I can't read properly. The first bit of good luck, this whole sordid story by— what? Okay. Yeah, I did. I read that correctly, but it's weird. By a military patrol after less than half an hour. By then I was already ready to lie down and give up. So the government still existed? The evacuation center was real? Yep, and yes. They had a medic look to me. It turned out I was mostly fine, and they dropped me off a block from the college, said they had reposts of some bridge being overtaken by bandits. Heh, reports. Hey. We're here. So, the evacuation center, my college. I'm not surprised I dreamed about it. It's like at the center of my life right now. It was still, and the dream a big part of my life. That's where I worked after all. Is this the part where the dream turns weird and the college starts sprouting layers of big smoke in a hookah or something? Unfortunately no. That would have been a pretty welcome respite. Even so, it must have been a respite. Proof that society survived, the United States weren't completely obliterated, etc, etc. Speaking of, what did happen to everyone? How am I only just realising that she's American? I've just completely read through this, but not taken in the stuff. I don't know. Everything was still rather hazy. Although, by the way, they called this a college. This would be a university, probably in British. News was sporadic enough to hear say. There was a lot of talk about a missile defense system that no one knew we even had, that apparently managed to shoot down something akin to 90% of all the enemy warheads. Wishful thinking. Based on what I was seeing, I don't really see the difference. 10% was clearly more than enough to wreak unimaginable havoc. Hell, 1% would have probably been enough. Anyway, go on. I want to get to the end. What happened at the centre? At the gates, there was a screening process going on. A big plastic corridor where we were all told to undress and go through this super cold shower, after which men in gas masks and plastic coverings ran a Geiger counter over us. Seriously? So what happened? There were 2 doors at the end of the corridor. Beyond the men in masks with guns. Whenever their Geiger counters frazzled and complained, you went right. Whenever it was quiet, you went left. I went left? Really? I would have thought you'd be covered in radiation. After the check, they gave us new threads. Honestly, they mostly looked like prison guard, but at least they were not radioactive. All of our old stuff would be disposed of. I think just gave them to the poor people going right. I saw them through the fence, heading off to God knows where in their old clothes, many of them too tight and too sick to even walk upright. It's really sick. I can't even imagine how many millions of casualties they had to deal with. I suppose it was just some them being pragmatic. Can't speak. Anyway, what earthly paradise were you led to then? They set up shelters for us in the dorms and in some of the lecture halls. Indoors with proper protection and daily washing and clean food. We were scheduled to stay there for just a little while until they could relocate us somewhere safer. It all seemed very organised, in control. Do go on. Did you rebuild society or something? How much longer is this dream? Should we maybe continue tomorrow? Like a part 2 or something? No, it's almost over, but this is when it gets weird. Remember that music I heard on the radio before falling asleep? Yeah? So, I was taking a walk between buildings and enjoying the fine weather since they had given a Fallout all clear. They sprayed the lawns daily and checked them for rads when I heard it again. Kinda like it'll turn the sound of thunder into explosions in a dream. No, or maybe. Actually, yeah, that's not a bad analogy. The music was a connection between the dream and the real world. When I heard it, it was like I suddenly remembered that I once had the dream I was currently having. Remember, in the dream, thinking of how incredibly unlikely that was. It was weird, okay? Dreams are weird. So the music. Where did it come from? It came from the admin building. It's this big place with the rector's office and a bunch of other offices, no teaching spaces off to the side, a bit close to the stadium. Shouldn't have heard it by any means, yet somewhere I did. I walked closer, but that building wasn't a part of our turf. The doors were all under lock and key, and there was a fence going off the main entrance, but I knew it came from there. Okay, so, what'd you do? I just knew there was some connection there, some truth hidden in those tunes, something that would allow me to wake up from this nightmare, because that's what it was. Every single aching, painful moment of it. But it was beyond that doors, inside a building presumably filled with men with guns. You got this far. Was there really nothing you could do? Well, since I worked out of it, I did happen to know of a smallish security flaw in its construction. Or it wasn't actually that I happened to know about it, it was more like I consciously decided to look for ways to break in when I first started working there. Exactly in order to allow myself to get in when I needed to. I'm not sure if that makes any sense. You anti-actively remembered in your dream that you had this dream and therefore changed your life in order to have the keys when you had the dream again. And when it happened in real life? Exactly. This is the weirdest goddamn dream. And I've had a lot of weird dreams. Anyway, what next? Well, the security flaw was that one of the electronic locks of one of the side doors would actually just open if anything vaguely magnetic was passed over it. So I borrowed a metal platter from the cafeteria and swiped myself in. It took all the 3 seconds. Nice. So you got in. Guards, alarms. No, nothing. Just the music. Ever louder. I followed upstairs to the room of one of the professors of archaeology, specialising in South American history, I believe. Mine specifically. I was pretty aware that it was possible whoever was in there would just raise the alarm and God knows where they'd throw me then, maybe with the sick. But the music, I had no choice. I opened the door. There was a man there. He was sitting behind the professor's desk, feet on the table, bobbing his head to the music. He had a head of white and a thick beard and was wearing a ratty old band t-shirt and dreams. Around his forehead he had a scarf. When I opened the door, I was greeted with the unmistakable smell of pot. His joint fell out of his mouth when he noticed me. So this is the caterpillar. One of the staff? No, but he definitely did not look government either. We stared at each other over the table. After a few moments he picked up his blunt again. expecting it for damage. As soon as it was fine, he offered it to me. Smoke? Did you accept? After all that happened, oh yeah, he offered me a seat and then handed me the joint. He was an older man, in his late 60s or early to mid-70s, but still looked sprightly. An old hippie. There was no malice in his eyes, he looked tired and sad, mostly. It's pretty weird. Call me. Oh, it's Rabbit! What? I would have thought it'd been a caterpillar if he was smoking. Okay. Oh, white face. Ah, yeah, White Rabbit. I don't mean to quote directly, but I think this is the point where you will get the achievement for the White Rabbit. But no, actually, I do mean to quote directly. I remember it all so clearly. Don't let me stop you, Alice. We just quietly shared the blunt for a while, and then he started talking. He had a very pleasant, mellow voice. I fought in the war, you know, Vietnam, he said, taking the joint back and inhaling deeply. I was really good at what I did, ranger stuff, behind the lines, nasty, nasty stuff, he frowned. Weirdest dream ever. You sure it wasn't a member of staff? I'm sure. He just continued, ignoring my apparent confusion. When I got back, I was pretty messed up. Everyone hated me too. I couldn't understand it. I had fought to protect the US, I was supposed to be a hero, like my pops before me. But instead, all these people my age were protesting, burning flags, hating, and I couldn't let go of what I'd done either. He smiled at me, then laughed like it was some kind of joke. You know where this is going, do you? So he was a traumatized war vet. Don't have any of those in your family, do you? No, not even any modern war vets. We're very anti-war in my family, but this character, I mean, he was a character, like a walking stereotype, but he still felt very real, heavy, present, trying to smoke away his troubles 4 or 5 decades afterwards. Deep scars, and he was... Right, I was even more confused than when I had come there. Anywhere, I don't know. I wonder where you cooked him up then. Seems so oddly anachronistic. This is when he leaned in under the table and took out 2 things. One was safe. One was a safe, one of those small portable ones. This one with a 4-digit pin code. The other was a heavy, ancient-looking 1911 semi-automatic handgun. You're drawn to this music, aren't you? He said. The gun and the box just lay there like he forgot about them the moment he took them out. He continued, well, it's not the music really, it's what's underneath it. Old sounds, older than you think, held together by God knows what magic, far as I know. My great-great-great-grandpops found it far down south, that's what my dad said at least. He used it after his war to help him sleep at night. Some kind of old, like, Mayan type stuff? Prophecy stuff? I turned it on and holy shit, he wasn't kidding. The dreams it gave you, of a future, all rosy and beautiful. Peace, no war, east and west living in harmony, learning from each other. Free love, free drugs, rock and roll. Every night I could fall into this future vision, living a guilt-free life. Some kind of dream time travel device, but his vision sounds pretty utopian. Yeah, he was getting to that, but then one night it all changed. Instead of waking up to peace and love, I woke up to, well, kind of a version of this. He wheeled out the window, which had a nice view of the downtown area, still smoking. The bombs had fallen, I panicked. I mean, I figured out already it was some kind of prophetic device, but since the future looked so rosy, all I was doing was taking out a bit of it in advance while the rest of history caught on, and said now something had changed. Fascinating. So I did the worst mistake a person can do. I brought it to the government. I knew there was no other way to convince them my vision, which I'd had for a solid month straight now, was true. I managed to get to my old buddies in the CIA through my military connections. I set them up by my record. I walked them through the vision. They were convinced, and they also knew something about what had caused it, some secret scheme they'd all been cooking up, which had clearly backfired. I'm not sure if this explains all the recent history or just the exact opposite. Here's the thing. They would have happily thrown me to the dogs after getting a hold of the thing, but the problem was it had attached to me. Maybe to my bloodline, maybe something else, God knows. I was a dreamer. It showed me my dreams, which granted was the future of mankind, but still, they needed me. So wait, if they could predict things, why didn't they predict 9/11, or the fiasco of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan? I know you have a lot of other questions, but we don't really have time for those. He glanced at a clock, then picked up the handgun. I tensed. 10 minutes, I'm scheduled to wake up, and when I do, everyone else attached to the dream also wake up, including you. No, let's ask him about the radio signal. Why was it on public radio? And the box, what's up with box? I did, and he laughed and said, it's not, it's never been, and it never will be. The recording is locked in the deepest vaults of the Pentagon, somewhere next to the Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail. They run it once a year in a very controlled environment. You wouldn't believe the controls they have, the secrecy. There's no possible way you could have heard it. That is incredibly unhelpful. He added, with a twinkle in his eyes as he lifted up the pistol. Then again, my old Pops did reportedly say that he heard it calling through stone, rock and soil from an unexcavated burial chamber, and my pop said he heard it playing from the attic on the day after his dad's funeral, even though that was just impossible. Maybe he just calls for its next dreamer, when it knows the previous one is on his last leg. Shit! Hey, wait, the strong box? That was the bloody weirdest part. He indicated the box with the gun and looked at me. I will give you 2 minutes to open the box. If you are the new dreamer, which I think you might be, there shouldn't be any problem for you. Just got up to finish the blunt by the window. What? It makes no sense. How could you possibly know that? What'd you do? I tried to open the box. Okay, so 4 digits. That's a lot of possible combinations. Better than nothing. Okay, I know what it is. 4, 7, 1, 4. I better click them properly. Okay. What? You opened it? What? How? I knew the code. I'd lived it. I'd learned it as I fell into the rabbit hole again and again. Remember we saw the 7 once? And it, like, appeared on the screen? I can't remember ever seeing 4, 1 and 4 again, but yeah, we saw the 7. You're scaring me, Alice. I'm sorry. It wasn't my intention. I didn't start this conversation with the intention of scaring you. I didn't remember then that... That what, Alice? What were you going to say? What was in the box, Alice? Your wife's head! The box? The box was the test. Damn. How I didn't see it earlier. The music, the radio, rabbit. What? Still at the stand. What do you mean? What didn't you remember when we started this conversation? I didn't remember the music. I didn't realise what it meant. Don't you understand? Rabbit is free. No, I still don't understand. For God's sake, Alice. It was just a dream. It was just a dream. Yes, it was. Thank you for reminding me. She's logged out. Okay. Okay, that was incredibly confusing. I wasn't expecting that kind of ending. Alright. Okay. Odd. Well, that would be how you get the last 3 achievements, and then the keypad. Obviously, you get to the keypad, but I don't fully understand that ending. That was incredibly weird. The rabbit is free. She's the new dreamer. Weird. But anyway, okay, that was all but one of the achievements for the bottom of the well, and the last achievement is just to, like, I think, die 10 times. So, just repeat and die 10 times and you'll get that achievement as well. But this was a weird story and a much weirder ending that I don't fully understand. Weird. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I shall see you all for whatever of my series you watch next. After this, I should be starting a Skyrim playthrough of the, what is it, Enderal mod? I don't know how you pronounce it. But I also have a bunch of other series. 2 I'll be suggesting in the outro with annotation links, and also the links will be in the description. So, thank you all for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Goodbye. Ooh, 2 unlocks, new order. Oh, we've now got bullets. And he got us a new map! That way. And the powder gangers still neutral with me. Ow! I should have expected mine.